Dreams do come true. So kids, what's your dream?
What more is new? So bright, colorful, and new. Sometimes it feels hard, but you don't wanna give up.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
You can see my dream?
Of course, because I too had a dream. Some days I dreamt of becoming a tennis player, and some days a cricketer. To make their dreams real tomorrow, you need financial planning today. Choose from a range of child plans from Aegis Federal Life Insurance and help your child dream big.
Hello and welcome. Very, very special interview. I mean, she's been an inspiration to me. She's younger, but she's been an inspiration to me all the while over the last 15 odd years. We've become very close friends since the New Delhi Commonwealth Games. And since then, not only Sania Mirza, but the family, her father Imran, mother Nasima, sister Anam, all of us have become part of an extended family. And that's what we are celebrating. We are celebrating Sania Mirza's last dance. And what she sort of gave us last week at the Australian Open was nothing less than miraculous and memorable. To make the Australian Open mixed doubles final with Rohan Bopanna, each one of us in India were hooked on. How is this possible? We kept celebrating each point, and we'll still celebrate. We'll still celebrate twice more, once in Abu Dhabi and once in Dubai, where I will physically come and enjoy Sania for the last time on court and also do an interview with her. Sania, thank you very much for joining me once again, for your time. Just tell us about that Australian Open week, because that was, I've watched you, I've seen you play that Wimbledon final as well, but that last week somehow was very emotional for each one of us. Tell me a little bit about what you went through.
Yeah, I think that I made that statement just before the Australian Open, and for me it was, well, first of all, my personality, so it's very important. Let me start with there. It's very important for me when people ask me, why are you retiring rather than when? So that is the first thing that I want to put out there. So I feel like I still have the level. I still feel like I have, I'm playing well, obviously well enough to make a final of a slam and all those things. But also like to still be close to 20 in the world, playing half a year. I, didn't play since August really. So for me, I felt that, the time is right, because I'm not able to, because for me to remain at this level is just, the amount of work that's going into it is just not physically and emotionally possible for me. So when I went into Australian Open, I'm knowing that it's going to be my last slam. And for me, I enjoyed it. I was having fun. The way the people were coming and talking to me, even in the locker room, had changed a little bit. Everybody was like, "Oh, we're gonna miss you." Like players, like just before we went on to play the final, me and Rohan were warming up, and Krejcikova was warming up for her semi-final with Siniakova, and she came and we're not great friends or anything. We've played against each other and we are compatriots, but we're not like great friends or anything. And she came up to me and she just kind of gave me this huge high five, and she's like, "I'm rooting for you all the way," just before the final. So it's things like that and like came off after the court, and Siniakova was like, "Oh my God, we were all cheering for you," because everybody wants that they wanted me to win. And it was so nice actually, because these are people who are not really my friends, so to say. These are just people I've been around. So in those ways, Australian Open was really special. I kept meeting the tournament director every day, and he kept telling me every time I was playing a match, they were like, "Oh, we got flowers again today. Now we have to give them to someone else," because they were getting those flowers every time I was playing a match and we kept winning. So those kind of things were happening, which was a little amusing. But for me, it was taking so much to be on that court, in terms of I was holding on to so many emotions for those 2 weeks. I was just And as you know me well enough, I don't like to display too many emotions. I think the last time that I cried like that was probably, then that was not on camera. That was after I lost that gold medal match at Commonwealth Games right behind at the
And we
swimming
were
pool.
sitting behind, exactly.
Yeah, but that was still not on camera, so for someone who hates like being so emotional in front of people, it was a big deal for me to be like absolutely start bawling while doing a speech. So it was so many things, so many wonderful things also, but also some small anecdotes that were happening like this. And then just the fact that it was so special. It was so special because that's where my journey really started. That was the place where everything sort of fell into place, so to say, in the whole Sania Mirza world. That's when I became that household name where everybody, and even till today, 18 years, it's been 18 years. I've played unbelievably great matches after that, won a lot of them, but people still remember the match against Serena Williams. So that's the impact that Australian Open had on my life personally, and also the people around me, and also the country. So for me, it was just so much emotion at that moment, and at that moment to be there standing with Rohan, who's one of my dearest friends, but also like the way that we were able to be there. And when I came off the court, I mean, I was actually not crying because I was actually only crying because I probably was not going to be on that stage ever again. And for me, I never really cry after losing matches. So it wasn't about that. It was just about the whole emotion that I kept inside me for those 2 weeks after making that statement. That all kind of came out together.
I've interviewed Rohan actually yesterday, and he said that even when he was playing with you, you were serving as an inspiration. I mean, that's sort of common to us all. I mean, he said some great words, very touching words, and again, very natural, because he and you have been very, very close friends. I've been witnessing that and been part of that as well. Tell me, Sania, when Izhan came on the court and you lifted him, come on, if I keep watching that as a father, ever and ever again, it'll still not get old. Just tell me about that little emotion. I mean, that little boy jumped, and I think he even shouted one time when the match.
Not one time, he shouted 100 times. Him and Rohan's daughter were having a competition as to who was screaming louder. I could sometimes hear them, from the court, and I was like almost giving them a stare, saying, "Can you keep it down a little bit?" No, I never in my life thought, first of all, that I will compete, at a professional level after I have a child. That's the first thing. To have my child there playing a Grand Slam final, semi-final, these are the moments that I've dreamt of as a young girl. To have him there, to know to know myself and our family, and to prove that you can achieve and chase your dreams, even when you have a child. And to have him there understanding winning and losing and actually support me in the box was so, so special. There is no feeling in the world that is better than being a parent, and I think every parent will tell you that. No matter how many trophies or Wimbledons or number one you become in the world, it's irreplaceable. The feeling of being a parent, and because the unconditional love that you get from that child is just something that is it's inexplainable. So to have him there, to come on the court, and I feel like even if that's inspired one mother to follow her dreams, one young mother who says that, yeah, it's okay, I can still chase my dreams. My life is not over just because I've had a child or because I've gotten married or whatever things that have happened in her personal life.
That's actually my next question. That, from day one, Indians can't play singles in as far as women are concerned. Break that. Indians can't win Grand Slams. Break that. Indians can't win doubles Grand Slams. Break that. Become number one. Break that. And now, being a mother and demolishing that myth, you've become this all-time poster woman for every girl in India. Whoever dares to dream, there's a Sania Mirza. In my house, whether it is my wife, whether it is my daughter, who I keep showing you photographs and say, look, Sania auntie is doing this, now you do it. So all of us use you as this reference point. Have you ever thought about it, what you've actually done for Indian women as a woman?
No, I actually have not thought about it categorically like that. But what I have thought about is that no matter what I do, it's still less, because I feel that we are here to inspire. We are put in a position of power to be able to help and to be able to, make make people's lives a little bit easier. So I am that first person to be able to do certain, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the things that you said. But now the next generation has this person to look up to and say, oh, she did it. Why can't I do it? And it was bloody hard to be the first person to do it, right? And there's no actual way that you're following. You're just sort of going along with life, but you just have these weird and wild dreams. And you're like, oh my God, I'm going to try and do this. And so for me, it is very important to, I wouldn't say just inspire. It is very important to set an example, because I feel that we are, we all have our responsibilities here in this world. And I don't think that we're here. And as I'm older, I've begun to be very sure of this, that I'm not here to just win tennis matches and hit tennis balls. I don't think that's my sole job. I am here with X million of followers, with X million of fans, I've been put in this position for the last 18 to 20 years in the media, where I'm talking and it's being written, so that I can make this world a little bit better, whatever that little bit might be. And we are all here, with that purpose. And I think that you will feel the same way with your job. I will feel the same way. And we are all here. It's different layers of it, obviously. And there's different levels of it. There's a certain amount of help you can do. There's a certain amount of help I can do. Everybody has their own ways of doing it. So I feel that it is my responsibility socially and as a human being that I have been given this privilege. I'm in a very privileged position. And I feel, and I have worked for it, but I am in a privileged position. I have been here for so many years. And I feel that I should try and set some examples where it will help other young people, young girls, young women to be able to do better things. And I think that's how little by little we'll make a better world.
Fantastic. When you did not have to prove anything post, Izhan. Why?
To myself.
So that's the question. Why? I mean, what was it? Was it that, okay, I'll demolish this myth also, I'll come back and prove to myself that mothers can do it? Why did you do what you did? Because you put your body through hell? Because 26 kilos every day, look at yourself. I mean, you've gone through that whole rigor again that you did several years back. Why? And how was that possible?
So mostly I'd like to say that I do things for myself. Like in terms of I do things, like I challenge myself for myself. I'm not challenging someone saying, Acha, you told me I can't do it. Like, I mean, sure, my rebellious mind that I have in the back, that switch when it goes off, I'm like, Acha, ab to bola hai, ab to main karke dikhaungi. But mostly it is on a serious and more deeper level. It's for me, And a lot of people thought I was crazy when I stopped playing tennis and I got pregnant. I mean, I was top 10 in the world. I was 7 or 9 in the world. And still obviously winning slams and people obviously I know questioned that as well, saying, is this the right time for you to have a child? You're still so young, you're still only 30. But at that point of time, I felt that was the right time for me. So there is no right or wrong time. There is a right time. So for me at that moment, I was like, no, this is what I feel I want to do right now. But when I made that decision, if anybody remembers, I never actually announced retirement. I didn't say I was coming back. I didn't say anything. I just said I'm taking a break and I had a little bit of a knee injury and then I was pregnant. So I did freeze my ranking. So I knew I was not done. Deep within my heart, I knew I was not done, which is why I didn't announce the retirement, because the time that I announced retirement was last year and then things happened and now it's the time to do it, So for me, coming back to playing tennis, it was because I knew I had a lot more tennis left in me. B, I wanted to prove to myself that I can do it. C is again the same conversation from the last question, is that we are put here to set certain examples. And I feel that, the kind of messages I used to get, even just putting workouts, saying these young women and we're like, oh, we had a baby and we didn't want to go and for a walk today, but we saw your video and we want to go and work out today. So things like that are very small, but they're very powerful because you're making someone's life better who has no connection with you. So I'm saying it's very, very small things. So the same way, I mean, today now the messages I get is like that video that you're talking about of Izhan coming on court. The messages that I'm getting is like, This is for all the mothers out there who think that they are not able to achieve things after having children, and that is very powerful. It's just a video. I mean, what is it? I'm hitting tennis balls. I'm winning tennis matches. It's not a big deal in life scenario, right? But the message it's sending to these young women is that it does not make you a bad mother or a bad person or a bad wife or a daughter if you're following your dreams. You can still be all of those things, and you can still follow your dreams, and you can still achieve them, more importantly.
Last two questions. One, we will still consume you for one more month. And when I say it, I feel also a sense of kind of loss that a part of us will go, which have been part of us for the last 18 odd years. Have you thought about it? I mean, will Dubai still be that same ruthless urge to go out and win every point that we've associated with you? Have you thought about what it will be like? I mean, or you run away from it?
No, I don't run away from it, because every time I step on court, I want to win. Whether it was my last final, I should be very happy that I'm just able to get into the main draw of a Grand Slam, and my last slam of the year. Why am I there, fighting my butt off for the final? Because I want to win. That is within me. No, that is something that is just in my blood to be competitive. And tomorrow, if I sit and play like, I don't know, like Ludo on my phone also, I'm like competitive with it. So that is just who I am. And that has nothing to do with my first that match or my last match. So I am playing with Bethany Maddox-Sands and Madison Keys, and I'm going to try and play, have fun. It's a little bit different, because at the end of the day, that's the kind of, I will never walk on these courts again. I will never compete at the highest level of this game again. But I'm doing it with two of my best friends on the tour, and I'm going to have a blast, honestly. But I am going to try and win. I mean, there is no doubt about that. And I think anybody that watched the Australian Open, they know that I was trying to win. Nobody was there just to, be there. Like, I mean, I don't believe in that. If I had to do that, I would not have worked hard for the last 2 months after getting hurt and tearing my elbow tendon, coming back, doing a full-on off-season and coming to Australia. I would have never done that, because it takes a lot, But I know what it takes. One of the reasons I'm stopping, I know people think it's crazy, right? Like, they're like, you've just played a final of a slam. Like, why are you stopping? Because for me to be at this level is taking so much out of me, mentally and physically and emotionally, that I don't think I have the capability to put that effort in to be here. It is not that I don't think that I don't have the level to be here. Obviously, I have the level. It is the things before that is, that makes me be at this level. I mean, I was on the table for 1 hour before warm up. I would go warm up, then I would go shower. I would bring my food. I would be on the table again, taping my calves. The physio I was more on the table than I was on the tennis court. Constantly I was on the table. Like, I was just on the physio table the whole time, like 3-4 hours a day. Then I'm doing rehab, then I'm going to the gym. So actually the tennis playing part of it is very minimal. It's the everything else that is just emotionally very draining for me.
When you look back, I mean, when you travel back, for example, from Australia to Dubai, or have you looked at your journey? I mean, couldn't have been any better. It must be very satisfying, if not anything else, coming from where you did, with dreams in your eyes, to be able to fulfill those dreams, set examples. Like you said, yes, a position of privilege, but work the hardest to be in that position, and then sort of inspired people, even if it for one mother. Have you looked at that? I mean, does it leave a sense of satisfaction, a deep satisfaction?
It does. I mean, I am full of gratitude. I'm very grateful for everything that I've been able to do, and to have this kind of last Grand Slam is something that is, people can only dream of these things. No? People only dream, like, people dream of making one final of a slam. I'm leaving making a final of a slam. So I have to be very grateful, and by God's grace, he's been so kind to me over the last how many ever years. And even now, while I'm leaving this space and this profession, he's still being kind. So for me, I do have a sense of satisfaction. But having said that, would I have liked to win that damn final? 100% I would have liked to win it, right? So I'm saying that as athletes, we are very greedy as human beings. We are self-centered and we are greedy, and we can only think about ourselves. Especially, it's the nature of our job. That's how we are. And for me, I want to, people are like, oh, are you happy that you won 6 Grand Slams or you played 12, 13 finals? Sure, I am happy. But Am I satisfied? No. I mean, I would love to win 12 Grand Slams. Why should I not have dreamt that, you know? I would love to be top 10 in the world in singles. So there are many dreams that were fulfilled. And I know that I'm feeling like this because I'm still in that competitive spirit. Of course, in 10 years down the line, I'll be very happy with my career and I'll be like, that was a great career, because all this competitiveness will go a little bit lower, you know. But right now, I'm still a very much competitive natured person, and that's still running in my blood quite fast.
Trust me, love you for who you are. I mean, always did. I mean, you know, you've been part of us. You've been part of me personally as an analyst of sport and as a friend. I mean, reached out to you whenever we needed to and seek help, whatever it is. I mean, we'll be there in Dubai to celebrate you more. And as I said, you will forever be a part of India's sporting journey, and for each of us. You've touched our hearts. You've touched our hearts in many ways. So
it's been an absolute honor and a privilege to represent you guys and represent the country. It really has. And if someone told that 6-year-old in Hyderabad, you know, 30 years ago that you will do all these things and you will represent your country and the national anthem will go off because of you, in any part of the world, I would have taken it with both hands. So it's been an absolute honor and an absolute privilege.
Fantastic. See you soon, Sania.
Okay.
I mean, nothing better than a physical interview, because we've got to celebrate this more. Can't be. I mean, a career like no other. I'll come to Dubai and see you soon. Hopefully,
okay.
Because last time I met, he was a little boy. This time one has to.
He's a big boy now. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Okay. Bye. See you. Bye.
Now you can watch all our content on the RevSportz app. Please download the app. All the instructions are given, and consume all sports, multi-sports content on the RevSportz app. Also, you can download and use our other platforms. You can subscribe to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and of course Twitter for the best of sports coverage from all over the world. So the app or all of the other social media platforms for consumption of RevSportz sports coverage. Keep watching.